Well, it is just that time again, and it is your lovely, gorgeous host, Chet Maddox, along with Alexander Storm. Mr. Storm, it is Wednesday. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, doing well, man. Doing well. Looking forward to tonight, man, because, whenever we have a guest on, and especially a guest about that we're excited, it's always good, man. It's always good.
We always got those technical issues too. I do like the still frame we have of you right now. That's great. Hey, look, it's Wednesday. We know this is Comic-Con week. There is a lot planned. We have a special announcement happening at the end of the show as well. And it is the sexiest podcast ever to exist on Wednesdays. It's fantastic. We have a great guest tonight where this is going to be the Rise of Nexus and the world of Nexus for the next hour. So we hope that you appreciate it. And let's just roll it. That intro gets me every time, sir. Mr. Alexander Thunderous Storm.
Hey, you watch the rest. Now you guys are watching the best. You tuned into Toy Box Chronicles.
That's right, sir. That is right. It has been a long path for those of you that don't know. Yeah, I mean, we can't get into that though. That's towards the end. I can't say it. But hey, look, when you come to this show, you expect there to be a presence of pure sex appeal, and we have one of the sexiest toy lines to come out, which is hitting September 23rd. It is Rise of the Nexus, and we said, hey, what better way to talk about it than to just get the creator of it on the show. Absolutely. And so that's what we did. And why don't you introduce?
Absolutely. When I saw this, and actually one of our guys behind it, Deadly Dioramas, you don't know, works hand in hand with us. He brought it to our attention. Hey, I saw you guys with Grindhouse, and he said, hey, here's the next thing. And when he usually says that, we listen. And so I'd like to introduce Carlos, the creator of Rise of the Nexus.
What's up, guys?
What is happening, Carlos? How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Happy to have you here, man. I think there's a lot that we want to get into, a lot we want to talk about. Really quick, we're going to go hit up the fan bags and see what's going on over here.
Absolutely.
We have Commander Bly is here for the XP. That's typical with Commander Bly.
It is.
The hidden welcome on in. Odd Frog Entertainment. I think this is the first time ever Odd Frog has been in. I'm curious to find out what they're doing. Welcome in, though, fellas. Dr. Brentley is looking to give all of his XP to Commander Bly. He obviously has no clue how the XP system works, but exactly. We will. I guess we could boot Dr. Brentley first and then give. I don't know how that works. Darth Moocher, who, if you guys don't know, is from Sarlacc, which is the best damn podcast on Star Wars that exists on YouTube. So Absolutely. you need to check them out. Meeks, welcome in, sir. Happy to have you here. And of course, the lovely Wholesome Warlock. I'm gonna learn how to speak English eventually. But I don't know.
Purple Gang in the house.
Purple Gang sit up, and then Rad. Let's go. Let's get funding. Support indie toy makers. That is right,
Absolutely.
sir. That is what we do. Carlos.
So guys,
where do we start, man? This is you've been busy. We talked before the show. There's a lot of really great things that you have in the pipeline, some stuff that you've been working on prior to this. Why don't you just hit us with kind of like who you are, what's prompted you, like, is this your first toy? I know Kickstarter, you've backed a few on Kickstarter. So how are you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm good. Yeah, I'm Carlos. I've been a graphic artist for about 25 years now. Um, I've been surrounded by toys my whole life. My dad is a huge toy collector. He's really into Batman and DC stuff.
All right.
Um, so that kind of, I think that kind of helped propel me more into toys and stuff. And I just never stopped collecting. They were always in my house, on my shelves. Had girlfriends, had friends come over. I wasn't ashamed or embarrassed of it. So it was just always something that I also wanted to do. I just didn't know how to get into it. There was nobody kind of pointing the way out, like, there's this school or this thing that focuses on that. But I've been customizing for pretty much all my life, and also been working, done a lot of bootleg toys. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that scene. Was doing that for like almost 12 years. And then, kids and stuff came along, and and this idea pretty much came from playing with my son, kind of inspired by his way of plays, which is basically Rise of Nexus is a tabletop game. First, more than just the action figures. It's a tabletop game that lets you play with action figures, any action figure that's 3 3/4 inch, basically.
Okay, great.
The Rise of Nexus line, like the lore behind it and all that, is all connected to the tabletop game, of course. And hopefully that I can start showing that off maybe in a year. There's no artwork or anything. It's just like a crude prototype that I have. But yeah, and then going to work on the action figures first to kind of put the branding out there and the name out there first, and then once the game comes out, then we'll put all those pieces together and people like it.
Yeah, well, other than your I know you said that most of the stuff come out for you playing with your son and coming out, but were you a fan of any 3 3/4 figures? And actually, why 3 3/4 figures? Because I noticed that we jumped into the 6-inch market,
right?
But why did you choose 3 3/4?
I like the 6-inch stuff. I love the Marvel Legends and the classified stuff. Something about it when I started looking at the O-rings again around the classified time. I don't know. It just brought me back to something about the simplicity. I don't know. It just drew me back. I fell in love with it again. As far as coming up with the tabletop game, I was looking for ways to include both scales, as far as 6-inch and 3 3/4. The issue is, since it's a tabletop game and you're using a board, there's a size issue as far as do people have a big enough table or space to play this? I would look into that, but for now, I think 3 3/4 inch works. People already have them in their collections, And you also don't need the action figures to play the tabletop game too.
Okay.
It's also kind of like a trading card game, like Pokemon or Magic the Gathering, except the pieces move around the board like a chess game.
Got it. Now, when it comes to just any inspiration other than that, were you a fan of any 80 lines or anything else like that kind of also saw it? Something you said, well, I like to do my own version of this, but this is where my inspiration might have came from as well.
I mean, of course, G.I. Joe was always my favorite line growing up, even to this day. But I mean, anything around that time, Mask and Turtles, He-Man. I mean, I played with it all. My dad, we came here, we moved to the United States in 1985, and it was a different world. We didn't have giant toy stores back in Venezuela where I was born. So
that makes sense, man.
Yeah, so it was kind of like and then my dad too, who was into all that stuff. It was kind of like a kicked into overdrive. It was like, oh man, this stuff is everywhere. I mean, that's kind of really where the inspiration comes from, is just from being a kid, and my dad just spoiling me, I guess.
Yeah. I think hidden kind of can kind of kick us off a little bit about just kind of like, what is Rise of the Nexus? Like, what is the lore? Like, what is it that people like when people have this like, because everyone likes to get kind of attached to what they're investing in, to what they're buying, to kind of follow. And over here, we've learned very, very quickly that in order for people to get invested, it's very important that they understand who the creator is, what drives the creator, what makes the creator want to create this, and then also what is in your head that has caused you to create Rise of the Nexus. So maybe give us a little bit a background or a lot on kind of what Rise of the Nexus actually is.
Yeah, so it's really a story I started thinking about maybe 20 years ago. I thought about making it into maybe a graphic novel or a comic, maybe even a novel or something to that extent, you know, because I too, I love all that stuff. Again, with comics and trading cards. So the idea, you know, to mesh the story, because there's already, okay, so Rise of Nexus basically is this cosmic being that comes down from, you know, outer space, wants to do good, but ends up destroying pretty much the entire planet. And the story that we're seeing is very zoomed into this bigger story. So Rise of Nexus is this team of mercenaries that are they're paid by a private company basically to do whatever their bidding is. Most of these guys were raised into the mercenary life. So this is, you know, kind of, I think of The Boys in that sense, where you know, they work for a private company. Anyways, they basically, everything's dismantled. They go out to basically try to stop this thing from continuing to destroy the planet. They fail. They get sucked into this. It's like a giant blob is kind of what it looks like. They get sucked in and they're frozen in time for about 150 years. When they wake up, they are in a prison and they are forced to fight against each other and other people who basically also, in that time, I've been raised also to fight in these arenas, and basically is how they make their money and their lives, how they live their lives. So it's not really a story about good guys versus bad guys, because it's more like, imagine the G.I. Joe team being in prison and forced to fight each other. So there would be, you know, just a lot of conflict, a lot of, you know, interesting storylines, you know.
Which that's as simplistic as you can get it, actually, which kind of works itself out. Yeah, no bad guys, but everybody is just basically trying to make their way. Extremely interesting on that one. And we got in the house Mr. Deadly Dioramas saying they're forced to fight, and he's absolutely right. That's so I like the fact that there are no really good guys and bad guys. They're just in a situation together. So that means that there's really, you know, you can probably pick individual characters that you like, but there's no real fractions other than there's this being that's basically has, like, you know, destroyed their lives and stuck them in this situation, and now it's kind of like a gladiator kind of scenario.
Pretty much.
So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So their lives are turned upside down. Everything they knew is now gone.
Got it.
So yeah.
And we got Deadly down right here. It's an Unreal Championship Edition. Yes, sir, right there. And the Hidden pumped in. He says, so it's a story like the A-Team a little bit, and I guess the point where they're heroes for hire. That's that point. And we're looking at some of the characters on the screen, but that's actually right there. There's a scan code right there for everyone, that if you have the opportunity, make sure you go over there and just sign up for the Kickstarter right now. You want to make sure that you're actually, you know, building that up so you'll know. And later on tonight, we will let people know the projected launch date that you want to give. So we definitely want to run that. But let's go over. We'll see. We got a couple of characters right here. So these are the ones that generally. So let's start from the gentleman with the cloak, and then all the way down. Give us just a brief kind of thing on some of these characters, some names, and, you know, how badass and why I should actually spend all my money to buy this stuff.
So a lot of these guys, it might jump right off that they might seem a little familiar, and that was on purpose. But, you know, we've created a whole new team, which is again, I don't know if I mentioned, but the private company they work for is called Iron Veil.
Iron Veil, got it.
So the guy with the cloak, he is Sleepwalker. He is basically the leader of the group, or the leader of this specific squad. And these 4 guys are the 4 main characters. Sleepwalker Next, you have Night Owl, the guy with the face mask, or somebody I think called him Tactical Jason or something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Then we have Seiko, the guy with the eye patch. And then there is Wolfpack all the way at the end. And Wolfpack and Seiko are somewhat related. They're not blood related, but they grew up together.
Got it.
They were basically taken from their families. Again, they were forced to live the mercenary life.
Got it. And Seiko, now, I don't want to just throw this, but it does remind me of a situation that happened maybe in New York sometime. I don't know, but I'm just saying is that he stood out to me as I know I got to get that character.
Yeah. So the interesting thing about Seiko is that everybody tells me something different. So some people will say that, and then some people will say it's more like G.I. Joe inspired.
There you go.
Which is perfect. So that means I did well there.
Yes, you did. Now, can you tell us who's some of the people that you have helping you work at Solid Raven with this? So let's break down some of the other behind the scenes heroes that are helping you bring this to life.
Yeah. Like, no, I wouldn't be at this stage without those people helping me out. So if you guys are familiar with Electric Blueberry Studios, eBerry Studios, he helped. He's the 3D artist behind the sculpts, so he worked off of my drawings. He's done an incredible job. He's currently working on Wave 2, which are the stretch goals, which is another 4 figures, which you see there to the right, or maybe my right, your left.
Got it. Yep.
For the drawings. So it will be another 4 figures. Like I said, which is the female is Cadaver, then the middle guy is Scope, and then Evil Face, which is inspired by a G.I. Joe customizer from back in the day. I mean, he still makes custom toys, but it basically reached out to him to kind of help bring some of his, some of his cool like ideas to life.
Got it.
So I'm very excited about that because he's kind of the guy who kind of inspired me to get into making custom toys. So
great.
Let's see. There's Matt LaCroix who did the Paint Masters.
Yep.
I love Matt. He's amazing. He's also currently working on some Paint Masters for Wave 2, which I hope to show off within the next 2 months. Let's see. My friend Eddie Baez, who I've known for like 20-something years, he's doing the illustrations for the packaging. So this is the packaging for Wolfpack.
Oh, okay.
I love his artwork. So it's cool to also be able to bring on friends and work with them. And I'll put it bigger.
Now, on the packaging, are you going to have like each person's story on the? Yeah, there it is.
Yes.
Okay,
there you go.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so we got their bios and the cross sells.
And then you have two hidden one or 4 hidden ones, right?
Yeah, so it's basically they're just Wave 2 right here. And then I have planned, hopefully, a secret reward at the end, which is obviously related to the story, and more closely related to Sleepwalker. I don't want to give that part away too because I think it's pretty cool. But a lot of more stuff too that I haven't shown off. There's just so much. It's like I said, 20 years of all this, putting this all together, and then really the tabletop game I started 4 years ago, and then the figures was 2 years ago. So, and also Level 7 Toys, who does a lot of 3D printing. He's done some of a bunch of prototypes for me that I've sent out to people and kind of just shared with folks, given away, and then also the ones that Matt's using to paint.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, let's before we go into anything else, let's pull up the Kickstarter and let's talk about that. Well, as much as we can, but the stretch goals. And your point. Now, you said there's a chance to unlock 4 additional characters.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first offering is these 4 characters that we've seen right here. Those will be the first initial ones.
Right.
And then through certain goals, they're hit new unlockable ones. So in that order, do you know out of these characters, which is your first unlockable goal, or are you still working on it?
Right now, it's between Cadaver and Evil Face.
Okay.
Evil Face, of course, I wanna bring that. I want to bring that to life.
Yeah.
I know there's people that are excited about it too. I also, have a big crush on Cadaver, and I wanted to see her come to life too. I really think she came out cool. I don't know. We'll see. I like I said, it's between those two.
All right.
But really, my favorite one, I'm not even showing yet. He's the fourth figure. His name is
Okay.
Mamba, and hopefully, yeah, well, soon we'll get to see what he looks like. But
Do you have any of these with you right now that you can kind of like show on screen?
yeah, here we go. So this is a Night Owl.
All right.
And so what's really cool about these, and I'll show it. He doesn't have one here, but the holster, the pistol is removable.
Wow. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's cool.
Which is a really cool little neat thing that we got there. Same thing, and so every figure will have that feature. He has it on his vest.
Wow.
Let's see. There will be also cool things like Sleepwalker, who his face mask is off.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And
has really good detail on the face too for 3 3/4.
Yeah, Stefan is incredible. He's incredible. Yeah, yeah. He. You know, I kind of when I was working on these, I was picturing the movie, so you know that's why.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Kind of looks like a certain actor, but.
And the ones that you're showing, how close to? I mean, obviously you wouldn't know unless we got like production ones, but like how close to actual production are these?
So all these except for I have Cadaver here, but all these are from the factory.
Okay.
Yes, these are all from the factory. These are all painted samples, which we've already, have our factory partners in China. They're already ready to go. They already have these designs. Then they look beautiful. They look amazing. I'm almost scared to move them around and pose them, but yeah, they definitely some nice tight joints there.
Do they swivel at the hips?
They do swivel at the. Well, we have to actually. They do swivel.
Sure. Yeah, we got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Just like the standard O-rings.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Pretty much classic O-ring construction with some new updated features. You know.
Yeah. No, those are cool, man. Those are really good.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited about them.
Yeah, definitely should. So, do you want to get into pricing, Carlos, or for the 4, or should we wait until sometime? Well, let's actually, what we'll do is we'll tell people right now that there is a projected date for this to hit Kickstarter. So what you guys should do is lock that in calendar. We're going to throw that on the screen right here. Looking for Rise of Nexus that will launch on September 23rd, 2025. So make sure you guys are heading over to Kickstarter, signing up for the, to just be notified then so you can actually get in on this line. Again, the first initial will be 4 characters and you'll be able to unlock another 4 characters from that. Let's look, I always go with an optimistic point that we know this is going to be a great campaign. So are there any ideas in the future for have you thought about vehicles or any other thing, like how far, because 20 years is a long time to see in your head. So I'm sure you've got goals and dreams of this future world that they're in. But a couple of snippet plans. Yeah,
no, there's like in the story, the arena, the Nexus arena, which is where they fight. This is the name. It's kind of a small part of the story. It's not the major part. So we're basically taking this small part of the story and kind of building off of that, off of this tabletop game. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of plans. I have so many ideas. This is what I spend my time. I have a lot of free time driving home, so it's just my brain is just working on these things. But yeah, I mean, there's so much plan. As far as like the Kickstarter itself, there's also other stretch goals like weapons packs and things like that that I have planned. Also, if you go to my website and you subscribe, there is an offer there for if you pay $1, you become a VIP, and you get a coupon for 1 figure for $19, which is the best price you'll get through the Kickstarter.
I do like the box art, or the packaging, because that always is something that I know there's a lot of inbox collectors that definitely want to keep their items. So it's nice to see the character. You can put it on the stand, and you don't have to open it, or you can open it, whichever one you prefer, but it leaves itself out to that where you could just pick and choose. So I
Yeah.
really like that, man. That
Yeah,
works on.
I mean, as a graphic designer, really what got me into like G.I. Joe was the artwork. It was the first thing that comes to mind when I remember seeing it on the shelves. It's a lot, really, what inspired me to become a designer too. A lot of my projects in college were based around action figures and things like that.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool too to get to design, to design what I like, like something that I want to see. And then also work with a friend too that can help me with the illustrations. I would have done the illustrations myself, but I would have been completely unhappy with them. So
yeah,
and it's better just to work with somebody else.
As an artist, you're always your worst critic. So
Yeah.
More than understand that. We'll take a look at a couple other characters right here. We'll see the close up of, like I said again, Night Owl, which is I dig that kind of name, man. And it's sitting on a stand now, along with stating with that. I love the part about the gun holsters and pulling it out. That's something that I always wanted in the 80s line. And I know that they just, obviously technology and then back then wasn't able to do it. You're able to do it now. Are these characters going to come with weapons? What's some a little offering? I know you said there was weapons pack, so I'm sure just like there's extras, but like, does each one have a signature weapon that they use or?
Yes. So, for example, like Night Owl will come with a compound bow, and he
Okay.
has I believe he has a Magnum right
Okay.
now, and one other accessory. They'll each come with at least 2 or 3 accessories for now.
Okay.
And then there's also a bonus accessory that I'm not really mentioning right now too. We're
Okay.
gonna save that for later, which is also kind of related to the story too. So it'll work out in the end. But I'm excited of those. I actually just got some screenshots of those. So yeah, down the road we'll share those. Got to keep some excitement for the future.
Absolutely great. And you said the tabletop is about a year away. So
Yeah,
so you'll launch the figures first, and then in the year anniversary they'll be able to actually pick up the tabletop at that point. So probably paying for it.
Yeah, that's the hope. I mean, at least once these are over, once they're out of my hands and they're with the factory in China, and then it's just me going back and forth with them, then between that time I can go back and focus on the tabletop game.
Yeah.
And then by then I can, also because I also want to offer if I do release the tabletop game, I want it to come with at least 1 or 2 figures, for you to get, so you can play right away and not have to wait, yeah, there's there's a lot to it.
Absolutely. Chet, any questions?
Is there any for the characters, is there any synergy between the characters? Like, is there a story that links up the characters with each other?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the main thing, is that they all work together. They all go on missions together. They all, whether it's hostage situation or retrieving artifacts or even taking down small countries, that's the sort of stuff that they did. So they all have either a working relationship, some type of long-time friendship. Like I said, a couple of them are related to each other in a sense, and that's when the conflict comes, is when they wake up in this arena and things completely change because their world changes, and it's not like they even have a choice. They don't even have a choice to say, hey, I can't fight you.
So one of the things that we kind of like to get into on this channel is really like, so you've been working on this for a few years, right? What's some of the stuff? One of the questions we like to ask a lot of toy makers is like, what is some of the stuff that like kind of like sharing the sauce or whatever, like that you found? Obviously you've already gotten your partners ready in China. Like, is there anything you can kind of like walk through on kind of like what that experience is for people that may be watching that have interest in even like going down the path of starting a toy line?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, being able to have that contact and it's just exciting, it's just like, wow, this is actually happening. But yeah, it's a grueling process because, I also work a full-time job. So it's, so it's between family, the job, and then doing this, and then trying to find time to sleep too is, so you got to be able to make a lot of sacrifices. and you got to be able to just, you know, kind of sink into it. You know, like it's been 4 years, right, of just kind of building up, and then since October 31st, which is where I registered the LLC, was the moment where I said, okay, I'm going to do this, you know. So from even then, I already had the figure designs. I already had started on packaging and stuff like that. But, you know, that's the moment when it became real, you know, and then just having to put in the work, man. It's just, it really is just a lot of work, just a lot of making contacts, people saying no to you, you know, that's going to happen. You know, people will say no to you. People will say, no, I'm not interested. You know, and then you just got to keep going, you know, you know, might hurt for like a couple seconds, but then you gotta, you know, gotta keep at it. You know,
can't be anything without rejection, man. You gotta have that in order to know keep pushing, man. Because if you don't believe in the product, nobody else will. So that's a standard testament that you're sitting here today with no's. Because you're right. People don't understand. You're gonna hear no with whatever you do. But can you take that no and make it into a yes? So I love that aspect.
It helps if you're used to that. I mean, like I said, I'm a graphic designer, so my every day it's just like it's, you know, so you get used to people just saying no, or even saying mean things, you know, like
that's like 90% of a graphic designer's job.
For sure.
Right?
I mean,
it's between the bullshit of like, no, I don't like that, and then it's like, no, this is great. Can you? And then I just have like, I just want to change it only like 90 more times before I'm excited about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, when I talk to people who used to be graphic designers, I pretty much the reason is because they couldn't really take, you know, they couldn't take it.
Is there so in terms of like feedback on this, like what is your feedback loop been like when like designing these and develop? Have you kept it very like close to the chest, meaning like the guys that you have working and the women you have working with you to try to like design this and paint it? Like, have you, what does that look like?
No, I'm as an artist, I'm very open to letting the artists do their thing. You know, I'm totally open to that. I'm actually, you know, I actually encourage it, because I you know, I want them to be as part of it as much as I am, you know. So it's not just me in the design, it's also them. So, you know, there are things that have been added or even taken away that you know, that have improved the figure, even as far as the paint, like the paint masters, like the color sheets that I did when I gave it off to Matt. Whatever little things he did to it, you know, just made it so much better. And I didn't ask him for that, you know. He just said, hey, you mind if I like do my thing? I was like, yes, do your thing, of course.
You
know, and same thing with Stefan, who did the sculpts. I'm definitely open to him. Like I kind of just, I give him my drawings, I give him some like samples of like, hey, you know, I like this and this, but ultimately, you know, he can do his thing. You know, I give him options. I like this hairstyle and I like this hairstyle. You know, like, which one do you think looks better?
Girls, let me ask you, how hard was it to put yourself out here like this? Because, you know, it's like, it's your creation. There's no soft underbelly right here. It's 100% you out there. I know it's hard. A lot of people want to hold things to the chest. So, like, you know, did you find it kind of empowering and free, or is there just a sense of nervousness going through you until like after the campaign? So, like,
well, yeah, as an introvert, as an introvert, this is extremely hard for me. To come out here and have to talk. I mean, it's not even something I do on a regular day-to-day basis. So having to put myself out there is not easy. But I mean, I really do believe in this, because it's, you know, it's not even just the story itself, you know. It's just because this is also something I've always wanted to do. You know, the story could be anything, you know, anything that I came up with, you know. But no, this is it's hard. It is hard, because you already hear things. You already go, oh, this looks great, but I don't want to back it. Okay, that sucks. Like, it means something that you'd like, but for whatever reason, you don't want to bag it. So, you know, so it's like, okay, you gotta work a little extra harder to, you know, get people to see it and like it. And you know, and if I gotta put myself out here, then hey, that's what I gotta do, you know.
Well, I want to bring up something too that I think you're doing really smart is you're located in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things, and I'm gonna, did you already talk about when this was launching, like the date?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Yeah, so September 23rd, I think, is important for anyone that's just kind of like jumping in. what I like about this is that there's not so we knowing that you're like into toys and your dad was into toys and things like that, that we've been talking a lot about this over flooding of like the market of like releasing, like, you know, you have Hasbro releasing something every other week, you have like Super 7 and then Todd, and so all of this like giant flood of things that are like hitting the market. I think it's a really smart move to do it in September. It is kind of like a slowdown of like, you know, I have money, like where can I spend my money? But speaking of it being in September, what I kind of want to get into right now is really kind of like what does it look like for you for like a getting it out, like not just on social media and podcasts, but like what does it look like for you to get out now in front of people at conventions? I know Florida has a few conventions, you know, the Purple Gang guys, those guys, they're all over like Toy Atlanta, like Joe Fest, like all of that stuff. Like, is there plans for you for hitting up the convention scene before and after? And I know we're currently on the West Coast. Do you have plans for that? Is that something you've thought of? Like, where are you at on getting out in front of people?
Yeah. So originally when I decided to do this thing, by the time like Joe Fest and all those came around in Dallas, they were already sold out. So I had to kind of shift gears, and I came up with these preview boxes that I sent out of like stickers and all these things and whatever. But the plan is, though, I'm looking at cons for something that makes sense, that's close by, you know, that's not too expensive, before the launch. I haven't really seen anything that I think could kind of work for me. There is right after the campaign, 26th is Jolana. So right after the campaign launches, I will be there. This week I've been working on what the booth will look like. I'm pretty excited about that.
Right.
So yeah, that'll be that. Before then, I don't know. I have to keep looking. If anybody knows or has any ideas, then I will give it a shot. But again, with a full-time job and things like that, it might be a little difficult. But.
Well, you have access to one of the guys that probably has his finger on the pulse more than anybody between, I think, anybody we've ever worked with, which is Deadly. And I know he's super excited about it. But yeah, I think what's really good, where you start to really drive in like the attention and people wanting it, is when they see it. And look, I'll be honest, man, you're more ahead of the game than some of the people we've had on the show in terms of just like production, already having like the production lined up and like your partners in China, paint scales. So yeah, I would be interested to see how these would do like live, where you could have people like actually like touch and feel. And it's great because you know, being a graphic designer, like the like how meticulous you are with like, okay, is this like print ready, right? And when it's print ready, then you know it's kind of like we're good to go. So right now you just have like a few that are a possibility, or like you said, Jolanta's kind of
I mean, Jolana for sure. I mean, I was at Joe Fest. Thanks to Matt, who gave me some space on his booth, even though it was like right at the end of the table, and it was behind the giant 1/1 scale bat. I don't know. So you couldn't really see the stuff. But Matt left early Sunday, so I took over the booth, and I got to. People did get to see them. People did.
That's cool.
People seemed really excited about it. Yeah, I mean, it's try. There was a con here in Tallahassee, but it was just the weekend didn't work out. It was like last weekend. I was going to try to at least just go and pass out flyers. You know.
Now, with this being 3 3/4 figures, have you actually had the opportunity? Because I know, you know, every toy maker out there has an envision when they had a line before that they grew up with. Have you done any shots with any Joe vehicles or anything? A bunch of guys in to test them out. You know?
I've done side by sides with other lines, like
I saw the Duke one.
I have some of those. I haven't done vehicles yet. I don't think I have any in the house. I think they might be in the garage. I'm not sure. Okay. We just bought this house a year ago today. Today's the anniversary of this house.
Congrats.
So, and we're still trying to You know?
Yep. It's never really solidly put in there.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
never.
when you get a chance, you definitely want to, like, if you got a childhood vehicle or something, it's
Yeah,
always kind of cool.
yeah,
Put your own creations in there, and be like, yep, I
yeah,
knew it
yeah,
was going to work
If
out.
you had if you had an idea of what, and this is from what we talked about earlier before we rolled, you'll kind of see where I'm going with this. But if you, and I don't want to give it away, but if you had an idea of like what vehicle types would exist in this world, like what are we, is it like land vehicles, or is this flying vehicles, is it like both, like what are we thinking here?
It's just funny because I have been thinking about this, and I was thinking about it today, and because this is kind of like a so we're gonna meet the characters of that world at some point,
Okay.
which is very Mad Max inspired, right? Inspired. It's
Got it.
the world has ended, so we're there's not a lot around, but I have been thinking about them. I thought about flying vehicles. I thought of like maybe some type of like air chariot, like Serpentor,
All right.
some Segway, some type of thing like that. That's kind of
Mhm.
futuristic and kind of silly, but also for some reason, I don't know why, I was thinking like it'd be cool to see like some freaking like some Cybertruck, like Mad
Okay.
Max Cybertruck or something like that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see down the road what happens with vehicles.
Yeah. But like I said again, it's the full impact world, and once you start world building and people feel it and understand it, it usually helps that way. So if you're thinking about it, somebody else is thinking about it too. So
Exactly. Yeah.
now, if everything goes right, which we all know it's gonna, and it gets funded and everything, what's the lead time that you think it'll be into ready to ship? Is that looking like a year and a half? What is your projected date for people that thinking I backed this in September of this year? When was the chance? Because that's always the thing that people want to know, is when they think they might be able to receive it.
Yeah. So that I kind of just got that answer from the factory recently. The dates that they're telling me doesn't make sense. It seems like too fast. So I
Yeah.
don't want to say anything yet until I get an actual confirmation, because it seems um like they're saying like 6 months, and I doubt
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna be. Like I don't maybe that's like their normal turnaround time, but I'm sure they're backed up with other things. So it's not.
Absolutely.
It's
So
it's it's probably going to be more like a year and a half type deal.
smart.
Just
It's
to be
always
safe. If it's
yeah.
sooner, better. If not, then
Hmm. Well, it's always a pleasant surprise if you can ship out something early,
yes.
but it is the smart way, because I know that there's a lot of guys that go in this, and we've been around the block a couple of times, and they say, "Hey, man, it's going to be out like yeah, 6 to 8 months from now," and it was no projection of that. It's
Yeah.
always good to give people a little bit of a heavy hand, so if you're going to order this in October or September of 2025,
Yeah.
you're looking at a year and a half before you're receiving that out there. So that take that in mind, because these are independent creators. They're not Hasbro and Mattels.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they get bumped down for bigger companies when they're over at these at their manufacturers. So that not everything is always there, but like anything else, good things come when you wait. And this looked like something most definitely that I will be waiting for. When I'm looking at the packaging too, Carlos, is it just is it just going to be the standard packaging, or do you have some special kind of like throw-in packaging or something? Is there like any kind of variants or something, or just any kind of plans that as we are looking at this Kickstarter launching, we're like, wow, I didn't expect this to come.
Yeah, I do. I mean, like that's the thing. I love packaging. I had some ideas to do like a box packaging.
Oh, okay.
Um, uh, something that you could maybe just put on your shelf, and kind of
Hmm.
display. I really like the way the classified box, like the original ones, were
Yeah.
done.
Hmm.
Um, I, I think if I do special packaging, it'll be like exclusives or
Great.
something like that, some special edition type deal. I have some designs. I just for now I'm gonna stick with the 6x9, the 9x6
That makes
size,
sense.
just
Hmm.
to keep it simple. Keep
Yeah.
keep it simple, stupid, right? My
That
motto.
we use
Yeah.
that around here all the time.
Yeah,
We do.
yeah,
Now, the one aspect too that I'm looking at just from especially having like the lettering and everything is also well thought out. I like the actual font logo for Rise of Nexus. You can see it well off, and it just it's under itself. Is that something that you designed, or you had another designer come up with it?
No, yeah, I've done all the packaging and everything
Yep,
else
see?
of the design work
Yeah.
for the line, except for the illustration. That was my buddy Eddie. I think
Yeah.
you can see his signature down there, maybe. But he did those. But
Somebody's
yeah,
trying to Ron Root at themselves, aren't they?
yeah. I told him do it. You got to do it. You can't just not.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can tell, like I said, because I knew being a graphic designer that you were. I was like, that is the logo that a graphic designer would make. Because it reads well. It's well fonted. You know, when you look at it, it's the one major thing that sticks out where, you know, people put time into this. Because I've seen it where they've done all the artwork, they've got the characters done, and then it seemed like, you know, the packaging and the title font was like last minute thought of. And it just doesn't. And that one, I was like, no, you can tell Carlos is a graphic designer because it jumps out to you. I mean, it's big and intrusive, man.
A lot of it is also inspired by things that I love. Like even the name of the company, Solid Raven, is inspired by Hideo Kojima. If you guys Metal Gear, the font Rise of Nexus is a Metal Gear font or inspired by Metal Gear font.
I can see it.
So yeah, I took inspiration from all the things that I love because I mean, there's really nothing new under the sun. It's just about trying to be clever about making it new, I guess, you know.
Now, as you're designing this, I will tell you that probably one of the things that's gonna, like, you're gonna go to conventions. We know, like I said again, Joe ARAH's one that you're looking at. It's gonna blow your mind when somebody comes to the table cosplaying as one of your characters. Just get ready for that because there's a lot of the characters I see is gonna lead way to somebody coming up to a convention dressed like one of them. I can tell you that.
Cool, I want to print Sleepwalker's mask, like just blow it up, and I thought about wearing it to Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really see it, but I think
no, we can see it. Yeah,
well, that's cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome to wear.
That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And, you know, just kind of put the hood over my head.
That would work, man. That worked, definitely. All right. Well, if anybody needs to get a hold of you, and we can put the actual asset back on the screen that has your scan code on it. But you know, if anybody else wants to email you or like say, hey man, you know, I know there's other guys, Purple Gangs over that's on the live tonight as well. They may want to interview as well. Where can they get a hold of you? What's the best place to get a hold of you, or anybody out there that wants to know more information other than just the Kickstarter? What's the easiest place to find you at, Carlos?
Really, but Instagram might be the fastest way. But you could also email me. You know, emails.
And it'd be like Rise of Nexus at Instagram, correct?
Yes, it's Rise of Nexus. It's just Rise of Nexus, and then the email is info@solidraven.com.
Okay.
Or you can go to the website, either riseofnexus.com or solidraven.com, and there should be a way to contact me there somehow.
And like I said, you're out there listening to this again. Set your calendars, because here's the thing. We know you got Google calendars or, like, you know, an Apple device or whatever you have. You've got something where you can set a reminder for yourself. Set that reminder for September 23rd, 2025. But before you do that now, scan that barcode, go over to the Kickstarter right now, and I want you to sign up, and, you know, so you can get notified the minute this goes live, because I got a feeling that, you know, a lot of people always like, yeah, I'm going to back this. And then they wait a little time. And then that last day they're scrambling and like, oh my God, I'm not going to. Don't do that to yourselves. Go sign up right now. You'll be notified when it comes out. Again, Chet pointed this out. It's coming in September. Perfect time, because you'll be through the bombardment of pre-order summer, because they got you on everything under the sun. You'll have that month of September where you have a little extra funds in the bank. You'll be like, you know what? I like to spend my money on an independent creator. This is the toy line that you should be backing as well. Rise of Nexus on Kickstarter. SolidRaven.com if you need some more information. And also, if you're headed to Joe ARAH, then you can actually go and see these in person and actually meet Carlos as well. Help him shake that little introvertedness. By the time you're done here and everything, you'll be an extrovert, and you'll be like, yeah, you know, it works itself out. But any merchandise, you know, any hats, any t-shirts, anything else to support this, any stickers or anything else that they could, you know, maybe you're thinking about printing up and putting on the Kickstarter or anything, any chance of Rise of Nexus merchandise?
Yeah, as far as definitely the Kickstarter, what's the Kickstarter the first 2 days you definitely want to get in because that's when you get the best deals. And
Yeah.
I'll give one of those away right now,
All right.
which is it's $70 for 4 figures, I believe. Yeah, $70 for 4 figures. That's the best deal there is. So you're basically you're not even getting one for free. It's a bigger discount actually because their MSRP is 28. So and you want to get in on the first day.
Okay.
And after 24 hours, that deal goes away, and then the price starts to go up after that. For that $70, you not only get those 4 figures, but you get stickers, a pin, trading cards, and a mini poster.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a deal, brother. That's a deal.
Yeah. So it's don't quote me on that, but yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. I might actually be missing one thing on that list. And then, like I said, the VIP deal, if you're just in it for 1 figure, that might be the best deal for you, and because you basically get 1 figure for $19. And then as the campaign goes on, like I said, the price goes up, but there'll still be some pretty killer deals.
Well, just out of this, it just reminds me, it seems like, as that's the good thing about being an independent creator. It seems like your main goal is to put this in people's hands.
Yeah.
And I know some people are out there, hey, you got to charge what you charge, but it's $70 for 4 figures anywhere on the face of this planet.
So good.
And also getting a pin and like a poster and everything else like that. Look, you got to, like I said, we'll post the time on September 23rd. Yeah. I would tell you, I would sign the hell up day one because you're not beating that deal. $70 for 4 figures and a bunch of extra stuff too. Come on, man. Yeah, you're right. You're giving some stuff away. You better jump on that trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. I think once the campaign launches, it'll get to reveal everything. And
it is. I only have a special request myself and I always do this too. We always bring on creators. We've got that from Chris Scott and everything. When you see the name Alexander Storm, for his 4 figures, just make sure you sign each one of the actual packaging when you send it to me. So that's my only thing is I get that. It's called the Toy Box Chronicle thing. That only happens for Chet and Alex. We just want our stuff signed, bro.
All right. Sounds good.
So I did want to find out too. So the 23rd is on a Tuesday. However, that 24th would be 1 day in. Are you? Would you be interested in coming back on for that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously you have an open door on our channel and our partner channels. If you want to start doing like some version of like a social media tour leading up to it, you let us know it works for you, but at least we can at least get you down for the 24th, and we can kind of go through and push that. I know last time we had Chris Scott on, I think during the time that he was on our show, he made like about $11,000. So we I don't know if it's something I would love to have it on the 23rd. I just know that we already have something going on the 23rd, but it would be cool to have you on there. Obviously, it'd be cool to have you leading up to that as well. See if you can get some kind of like tour going. But yeah, man, I think for everyone that's listening, like day one at $70 for 4 figures, it's like at this point it's like I'll just back it twice and I'm still like $100 under what I would be paying for like 2 figures on other people's campaigns. So.
Yeah. And I seriously, I won't get upset if I see them on eBay. You're good.
No way. There's flippers all over the place.
No, you don't know my obsession with collecting yet. Like it looks like I have nothing behind me, but then there's another room and some closets, and it's not good. So
I gotta buy 2 of it. I gotta buy one to open, one to keep closed. That's just that's the way it goes.
One thing we'll tell our listeners out there is make sure, hey, if you know somebody that's in the 3 3/4, because this is popping up. I'm in the Joe forums all the time, and 3 3/4 is a big subject matter, and it seems like it's making a resurgent. Tell a friend. Tell somebody else that that's into those, even whether they're vintage or they're still into purchasing new things, or somebody just into the independent market. Make sure hey man, I saw something the other night that was on Toy Box Chronicles, Rise of Nexus. Make sure you're getting them signed in. It's not just for you. It's one of those things where we're gonna grab a friend forward, like even grab a friend and tell them, hey, I know you're into this stuff, man. Definitely check this out, because like the catchphrase says, collect, battle, and rise. Well, we want you to rise yourself over to the either solidraven.com or head over to the Kickstarter and look up Rise of Nexus and actually pre-sign up for that so you can get notified, because again, like we just said right here, that day one, you definitely want to be in on it. You definitely, because no one is giving a deal like that. You better take the C's, because after that, every day it goes up and it changes a little. So you want to make sure you get on to the bus early, because the tickets will be sold out if you don't. And you'll probably sit back like, that's the line I want. It's a great thing. $70 to just try 4 brand new O-ring figures. Hell, I've been at a convention and I bought like, you know, like I think like maybe 1 or 2 initials, and that hit me to 70. So getting 4 and a poster and a bunch of stuff, that is a deal that you should definitely be swinging into. We will be promoting the crap out of it. You know, any other thing that we need to know about Carlos? And seems to be that people are getting a little excited about this.
Yeah, no, I mean, just you know, definitely follow on Instagram. I usually share most of the stuff there. There's I know I mentioned the VIP before. If you do sign up to the VIP, you get to join the private Facebook group.
Okay.
And there I'm showing more behind the scenes stuff that I'm not showing on, you know, on the regular channels. But you know, if you're into that stuff, you might enjoy it. You know, I shared basically the pricing list at some point. I took it down, but it was up there just to get, you know, just to hear what people think, you know, just to see. I'm definitely very open and very transparent about this, you know, because it's really just me spearheading this thing. So, you know, I'm going to make mistakes, and, you know, we're going to have successes. So, you know, and I'm willing to share as much as I can, you know.
Well, that's all the rise of independent creators. Well, we're gonna pull you off the screen, sir, but we will definitely be championing this line. And like I said, you know, big thank you to Matt Deadly Diorama for pointing us in your direction and everything, because, you know, hey, and Deadly we trust. So if he tells us something, he's like, there's a guy out there, you guys got to have him on the show, we definitely listen to him. And it was a pleasure and a great opportunity to have you on the show, man, and for sharing these wonderful 3 3/4 figures. I'm already excited. You already got my $70. So
Deal's done.
We'll put you in the green room, brother, and then we'll close out the show. All right. So just hang around a little bit.
You guys, see you soon.
Yeah. Hey, man. Night 1 of San Diego Comic-Con preview night. So, like, you know, thanks guys for tuning in to Toy Box Chronicles, because you guys could be, you know, trying to gawk all the crazy, inexpensive stuff that's going over at San Diego Comic-Con. But like, hey, man, you got all week to see that. But who can get a chance to see an original 3 3/4 line coming at you? Like I said, that's what we do here. So instead of slumping for the big boys, we slump for those independent guys. And this is the second of a series that we like to call over here, the Support Indie Toy Makers series. You saw that logo on our actual thumbnail this time. Look for that logo, because you know these guys are the guys working behind the scenes. They don't have big money machines. But you know what, man? The guys that do have the big money machine behind them, they do the best damn Star Wars podcast in this galaxy and all galaxies world, man. It looks like it's time for our buddies at the Sorlac Digest podcast, who damn straight know about 3 3/4 figures, bro.
Yeah, they do. They do. And we want to remind everybody, if you've noticed on the channel, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific is the launch of the Good Morning Toy Box news show. And we're going to be going over everything at San Diego Comic-Con that we've gathered for months upon months. It's a great show. It's going to be a morning show. And yes, it is not a one-off. It is something that we are rolling out slowly and hope to take over your mornings like a news channel should, only it's the news you give a shit about and none that you don't. But with that being said, you have tuned into the sexiest damn podcast on the internet, America's premier premium toy podcast. This is Toy Box Chronicles. We thank you. We will see you again next week, but tomorrow, tune in 10 a.m. Pacific for the Good Morning Toy Box. It's going to be different. It's not going to be what you think it is. We're excited to have it. We've been talking about this for a long time. Yeah. It's going to be great. We're going to enjoy it. And hopefully you do as well. So we look forward to seeing you all there. Like we said, jump onto Rise of Nexus, Kickstarter, links in the description. All the good jazz is happening. So Until next time, keep chasing that plastic dragon, but don't tell your spouse, because I'm not responsible for the divorces, but I will be there for the support drinks. And hey, if you're in San Diego at San Diego Comic-Con, Mr. Alexander, Thunderous Storm, and myself will be there Friday and Saturday on our feet, going around, doing whatever we can to do. We're looking forward to seeing you. We've already contacted a bunch of people, so we're going to be busy. But until then, Mr. Alexander Thunderstorm, it's been fantastic again on Wednesday night with you, sir. So
I'll see you tomorrow morning.
There is a massive discount code, though, that we forgot to tell everybody about.
Okay.
And yeah,